it's part of our BAFTA remit that we do a sort of industry event to really give back to our community. We're kind of that bridge festival that is at the intersection of so many different things with our BAFTA accreditation, Iris Prize accreditation for LGBT, BIFA, African Movie Academy, and so many other things and partners that we have around the world. My name is Claire Anyamusigwe. I'm the co-chair of the festival. This is my husband's festival. It's been going for 19 years, and I've been here for 10 years. I can't believe it. Can we give it? Tonight, I thought it was really important to invite industry friends, family, people that have come through the BAFTA doors. Jesse, 2013, 11 years ago, he showed his first feature film. First one. 2014, Verona came to us just as an actress, reading the live scripts, and now her career is like blah 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 from like 2018. And it's just that BAFTA is that revolving door. You know, whether you're emerging, you're established. We like to have that kind of camaraderie. We see ourselves really as a family, a collective of individuals and creatives that really enjoy sharing knowledge. So tonight, our speakers are going to share that knowledge. Tamika is a
multi-hyphenate.
Exactly. You know, like a prolific presenter up in the north. You'll hear a lovely accent. Love having that up north, down south energy. The festival, we've been doing that for 2 years now. And I went to Tamika's events up in Nottingham and was just blown away by, you know, the style of your events, the knowledge that came out of it, that sort of group share for entrepreneurs. So I thought she'd be the perfect host to moderate tonight. Just a bit of housekeeping. We're going to have the lovely people, CEO Marcus. TV Charity, who this event is in essence being sponsored by, so thank you for having us in your home tonight. Also sponsors tonight are Tamini Lebanese Bakery in central London, who laid on all those beautiful nibbles for you, and Propercorn as well. So what we're going to do is have Marcus just do like a, what would you say, 2-3 minutes?
2-3 minutes. You want to hear the speakers, not me. So I'll
exactly. But I think what you guys are doing here is revolutionary, really, and we all need to know how we can access it. So you know what I mean, because this is a place that we should all really congregate as and when and access it on a regular basis. And then we're going to go straight into Tamika, sort of introducing the three speakers, and then they can say their piece. I know for Mo it was really important that this didn't feel like a TED talk. So chip in, stop them, interrupt, elaborate on that please. Yeah, let's make it more of a, like we're in someone's living room as opposed to like you just sitting and listening and then talking. And then Tamika has got some questions, and then we're throwing it in to ask those questions. Around about 8 o'clock, we're going to go upstairs. We're going to let each speaker sit in each pod, and we're going to have like a 3-minute sort of speed networking, just so you can ask those one-to-one questions that you might not want to ask out in the open. And then please eat and drink that food, please. It's hard to get that. And then just tot it off into the sunset. We're in central London, isn't it? So, I'm going to go away now.
My name is Marcus Ryder. I'm the CEO of the Film and TV Charity. The Film and TV Charity is your charity. Right? It is here for you. We look after your well-being. The statistic is, from our last survey, that only 12% of you think that the film and TV and cinema industry is a mentally healthy place to work. It is a tough industry. Right? We have statistics that I'm looking at my colleague Lou, that I think it's 64% of people who have looked at leaving the industry in the last year, right, and taken actual steps to leave the industry. It is a tough industry. We recognise that. I worked at the BBC for 24 years. I then worked in film and television in China and then Malaysia. Right, so I recognise that we are facing tough times, and now is tougher than possibly any other time for a lot of us. So the charity is here for you. So what does that mean? That means that there is free hot desking upstairs. All you need to do is go onto our website and you can book a free place to work, because we recognise that loneliness, right, is a major driver of mental ill health. So if you ever want to work amongst fellow creatives for free, The coffee's okay, the Wi-Fi is strong, right? So please come and work, right? If you're facing financial hardship, last year almost £1 million went out of our door in financial hardship grants. So please go onto our website. If you're facing financial hardship, if the unexpected bill comes and the contract that you were expecting hasn't come through, right, and you are facing financial hardship with regards to that unexpected electricity bill, that unexpected whatever it is, right, please, we're here for you. Please apply for our money, right? We will give it to you if you qualify, right? Okay. Mental health. The mental health of people in this, where we work, it's not good compared to the rest of the population. So please, we offer 6 free counselling sessions, right? But you don't need to be at your absolute worst to access our counselling. If you just need a phone call, we have a line which is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It's here for you, right? Go onto our website. There are these leaflets out there which will show you all the other services that we have, right? But please, right, there's a whole heap of stuff that we do. But the reason I really wanted us to talk for, I think I've gone on longer than 2 minutes now, but the reason I really wanted to talk is that Mi Casa, Su Casa, our house is your house. This is not a charity helping you. This is you helping yourself, right? Because this charity completely belongs to you, right? So go onto our website, check this out. For those of you who don't need financial assistance, there are touch and donate. So you might want to do some touch and donating, but otherwise, please access the service, and thank you so much for the festival coming here. We want to put on more events. We do put on more events. On Thursday, for example, we've got an in conversation with Amor Asante, so that we can try and build community. On the 31st, on Halloween, we've got a pub quiz here as well. So it's just trying to build lots of different community events as well. So we want you to come here. This is your place. You now know where it is. Come anytime. You're always welcome. Thank you.
Wow, thank you.
Okay, so I think the mic's been handed over to me, has it, ladies and gentlemen? Are ready to kick off?
Yes.
So here's the moment you've all been waiting for.
So on the panel today, I'm joined with 3 impressive creatives in the industry, and they hold multiple hyphenate titles, don't you guys? You've all got lots to talk about tonight. I have the absolute pleasure of talking to them today, and we'll be really delving in a little bit more into their working lives. So joining me today, we have talented actress, comedian and writer and TV personality. She starred in and was also in the writer's room for the latest series of Top Boy on Netflix. She's best known for co-creating and starring in BBC Threesomes series, Fully Blown, which was nominated for a Broadcast Digital Award, and she is named the modern day Cupid in her very own show that she presents on ITV2 called Secret Crush. Please give a warm welcome to Verona Rose. Okay, I'm also joined by film and TV director, may I also add an award-winning music video director. He's worked with talents such as Chipmunk, Lethal Bizzle, Skepta, Guest, the list goes on. His feature debut, Shank, was released in 2010, and his second feature, Montana, premiered here at POF in 2014. He has directed 2 episodes of the Sky TV drama series Cobra and 2 episodes of the Apple TV series Hijack, which starred Idris Elba, Neil Maskell and Max Beasley. He has also served greatly as a book patron. Please give a massive round of applause for Mo. Last but certainly not least, I'm joined by writer, director and producer all the way from Florida, and he dabbles between London and LA. Making some fancy now. His most recent feature, Spec Scripter Pentester, was selected for the 2023 Blacklist, and he's currently developing High Stuff Benin. Is that how you say Benin? Yeah, Benin. Is that right? For once. Which is a feature spec with Apple TV and David Oyelowo. Appeared to star, he was the lead director of BBC One's flagship Return of Waterloo Road, season 11 and 12, and is the lead director of the show for season 15. He co-produced Buff's first feature film, No Shade, in 2018, and has his own production company, Wolf Cup, productions in which he produces his very own first feature, Kalal's Hands. Please give a round of applause for Jesse Quinones. So, thank you for joining me, guys. And now I can kind of ease off the scriptural element of the evening and just kind of ask you guys how your day's been. Are you loving it here in London? You really, because you came in, haven't you?
From somewhere else? No, I live here.
Oh, well,
yeah,
from an A.
I'd probably make it sound sexier as well.
Not sexy as well.
No, I just came off of my latest block in Waterloo Road about a month ago. So I'm kind of I flip between writing and directing. So when I'm directing, I'm just writing. When I'm writing, I'm just directing. So right now I'm developing a couple of feature films and TV films. So I'm in writing mode at the moment.
And you guys, how's your day been today?
I literally just came from the studio. We're doing a new show for BBC One
Amazing.
called Verona, which is like a Batman detective story in Bradford. I was meant to do the final block, but then they asked me to finish the whole show.
Wow.
And today we're doing ADR, which means, you know, get actors in, they do their lines and breath work and stuff like that. We had to do, normally every day we're doing about 150, 188 cues.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're literally bashing out so many, but it's so much fun. But exhausting, so I haven't stopped working since January this year, so I'm in low battery mode. I'm happy.
Going quickly, yes. Verona.
I've had a good day. I'm on the verge of burnout actually. Yeah, well, I'm drinking the water. But yeah, I've had a really good day. I'm actually dipping my toe a little bit in some theatre at the moment. So I had rehearsals in Southampton this morning. Travelled up to London and had a meeting for a show that I'm in development for that I wrote myself. And now I'm here with you.
So, the moment we've all been waiting for, we want to delve straight into the Q&A and find out a little bit more about you guys. And the way it's going to work, I'm going to ask a question, and all three of you are going to have an opportunity to answer, okay? You feeling it? All right, so we'll kick off with, what was the driving point for you when you decided to be in this chosen industry?
Me? I was born in Saudi Arabia, and it's not a sob story, but I used to live a very poor life, really nothing. And we used to kind of, I used to beg in the street for food, and we'd collect what we got from American tourists and go to a place called Little Cafe. We'd buy shakshuka, just scrambled eggs, onions and tomato with a little baguette. That's our breakfast lunch.
That's quite nice though.
It's beautiful, I still have it every day. But in this cafe, they used to put this TV screen, and the owner used to put in VHS tapes of Rambo, Predator, Rocky, everything you could think of that was big, action, bombastic. And I'd sit there as a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, kick my legs while I'm eating the shakshuka and go, how the hell did they make that? So, and then it became a journey of trying to figure it out. And now I'm here. So it's kind of like that question I wanted to answer. It's powerful answering it every day, learning new things. And I'm here. Not as in I'm here, but it's a journey. That's a journey. Yeah. I love that kind of that little box. It made me transport myself away from where I am, and
break the vibe.
that's the power. That's the power of creating art.
Yes.
And I've always wanted to make it that way. So yeah.
Cool. Verona.
So mine's not
How
as
did you get
But so I've always been a creative from very young. I used to sit in my bedroom writing songs and making plays, but I really wanted to be a singer. And I had singing lessons for years that my parents sent me to, and then one day I realised I couldn't sing. So I then directed my focus into acting, creating, and stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm here. I just love anything that is to do with creating and making something from scratch. Yeah.
And yourself, Jesse?
I grew up as not so like a condensed version. I grew up as a baseball player. I was sports nuts, and when I kind of turned 18, my career, got injured. Didn't really do things to work out, and then I came to London. and got into writing and poetry, and I was in the poetry circuit, and after with blonde tips. That was pretty wild. But I couldn't really figure out what I wanted. I don't want to be a storyteller, but I didn't really know what the right medium was. And I tried poetry. I used to work at the Voice newspaper. I was a journalist for them for 2 years. So, and then I kind of went into theater, and so through a long series of different things, I found when I kind of connected with film, I felt the right thing.
Yeah.
And so when I started writing my first screenplay, it was actually about that experience of growing up in Miami, trying to, figure out. Like, I had quite a tough stepfather who was really tough on me, and my mom was kind of not in her best place. And so I wrote my first feature, which was about my childhood. It was a coming of age story, and so that became it's called Callous Hands. Buff premiered it, which I was grateful for them, and it was the most amazing experience to kind of screen my film in front of 400 people, and I'm always grateful for Buff for that. And so that kind of started me off on my journey of storytelling. And the things I write now, they're not always personal, but they're always touching on themes that are personal. So.
Amazing, I love that. Really interesting. So, next question. What was your first experience with Buff, and do you have any unique Buff stories you remember? Well, you've just given one, haven't you?
Yeah.
So I'll hand that one over to Verona.
I love Buff, by the way. Thank you for having me. Thank you to you and Emmanuel for always being so supportive. My very first experience, Buff were doing, it was a festival year, and they were having like a live table read, and I auditioned for a role in something called Road Girl. I remember the name of it, and I actually met up with the writer recently. This was years and years ago.
2018.
And 2018, okay, 2018. So I auditioned for the role of this like gang leader, the big sister, Road Girl, and we performed it live for one of the Buff events. So yeah, that's my experience.
Interesting.
I screened my second feature long tenor back in 2014 at Genesis Cinemas in Genesis.
Wow.
I think it was a great experience. Just love the fact that the guys at Buff were screening premiering my feature. It's just an exciting feeling, especially knowing that I know the guys behind it.
Yeah.
They're good friends, and I think in a great community, you back your friends and they back you. And that's the most important thing, giving your art to someone you trust. And they treated my film with massive respect that a lot of festivals didn't, because it was an urban film, a black film. I know these guys look after creatives like us very well. So,
Both set apart from all the others, aren't they? It's just something dynamic
they're
about
swimming in their own lane.
it's incredible. Absolutely leading.
You make it easy. It's beautiful work. It's so easy to fall in love with what's beautiful.
Appreciate it. So so whenever they call me up, I'll say yes. I'm here, the family in a way.
Love it. That leads on to my next question. So, at Buff, we are driven by our core values, some being to keep people inspired, interested, motivated, informed, and involved, of course. What would you say are your own core values that you implement on your career and want to share? Because that's really nice to me. Who's doing with that? Shall we start with you now?
Core values. I think tenacity. It's a lot of. I'm sure all three of us have faced rejections. I think I don't take things personal. Like I think there's when somebody says no, I also just think maybe later. I always sort of live by that. So when I got the Waterloo Road gig, I had known the executive producer for 15 years, and we pitched something to Channel 4 years ago. Nothing happened with it, and then I kind of made my first film. Hey, here's my first film, sent it to him, then I made my second film. And if I ever made a documentary or whatever, I just keep it gently just nudging him, hey, I'm here, I'm still alive.
Keep it up.
And then, when my agent kind of said, look, I hear one of the roads kind of coming back. What do you think about doing a little nudge? I did. And then that kind of led to him a meeting with the executive producer, and then that led to the whole thing. So I guess not taking no for an answer, but not to be a jerk about it, but just be thick skin about it. So I think that's something I try to live by.
Over to you, Matt.
That's such a good one.
It is.
I'm thinking, how am I going
I feel like a lot of us can probably relate to what you just said for sure.
I think one of my values is, as a director, you are given this stereotype that you're shouting, screaming, egotistical. I think for me, as you can tell, I'm very chilled and quiet and soft-spoken. And I like to treat people with respect, but my value is be respectful, but be a quiet storm in a way. Where,
humble with it.
Humble, but you know what you want and you get it.
Yeah.
Without pushing people to the edge. And I think it comes from communication, respect, on set, with other creators, with other people, And the job of a director, or a director is a great quote, is a director is somebody who's misunderstood 1,000 different ways. And my core value is to communicate clearly, efficiently, and with humbleness. That's my value.
I just want to add to what Mo said, because Mo, actually, like about 20 years ago, I was in a music video that was directed by Mo. And
Which one was it?
Can you imagine? 20 years ago. And Mo said,
Guess how old I was 20 years ago?
You made it?
Maybe 2.
You.
25.
I'm feeling old.
Oh, yeah.
Years ago.
It was a no, because I'm just like, I can't, my mind is blown. And you said that you stopped directing music videos like 17, 18 years ago. So yeah, I just remember you being very kind.
But 20 years ago was a time to be had, like the music was on point. He was around 20 years ago. You know about those movies that were being created, and the fashion, and it was just such a time.
Well, I'm buying my favorite jacket next week.
Oh,
That's okay, we're still here.
It's a gift to me.
Yeah, we're still here. I think values I live by within the industry, I guess, like creating my own stuff, always, it will be persistent, to stay in love and remember why I chose this career, because sometimes I feel like people can get bogged down and be like, oh, I need this now, and forget the reason why we love creating, love acting, or love writing. So I always remind myself, take myself back to the beginning. I used to do this for free. I used to do this on Thursdays and Saturdays at youth theatre or my drama club for free, because I love it. So that's something that I just remind myself about the passion. And also, there's always going to be someone else working harder than me, so I need to put in that work. Doesn't matter if I think I've got something, or I need to put in that work, because somebody else is going to be doing it if I'm not.
And you can learn from that. There's
Yeah.
no end, isn't it? It's
Yes.
something that you kind of evolve in continually. So that's great as well.
Exactly.
I wanted to, can I add one more? Is that all right?
Yeah, please.
As much as it's all kind of humble, remember my value is business. Every moment if I'm interacting with someone about potential work or any other thing, is I know what my contract has to be, and I don't sit in a room unless I know what I'm getting myself into, and I know how to get myself out of it. Because the show business, the business side of things.
So it's kind of like having that boundary, isn't it? Having a boundary, professional boundaries.
Especially with everything you do. Again,
Yes.
humble, cool, nice, but fuck with surface wear.
Mess with Mo, and you're gonna
It's boundaries. You've got to with business and kind of a creative sense. You have to put force field.
Yes.
Contractually, creatively, and without force. You've just got to make sure you protect yourself in this industry, because there are a lot of sharks.
Yes.
They're scumbags.
Yeah.
We all have just done that unified.
Or eat you, chew you up, and spit you out.
They sell you the dream of success and get you to work for nothing. And it's fine to do it for yourself. After a while, we don't have to pay bills.
Is this still happening to you now?
Never. Very young, very young. I'll be real. My feature film with Montana. The minute that film came out, I didn't get any money back, and it took years to sue and chase. That's show business,
Really bad.
It's.
We'll have the Q&A.
Sorry,
Sorry. Please do. Have an opportunity at the end. It's definitely.
Protect yourself at all times.
It'll cost you later if you don't. So. Okay, next question then.
Sorry, I changed the
So-
vibe, didn't I?
Right, so with today's social media such as TikTok, Instagram, X and all the rest of it, it's got a massive influence in career growth, hasn't it? As you will all identify. And finding talent, how have you used it to your advantage? Have you found it useful in your careers to date? The social media aspect of things. I'll go with
My Instagram has been hacked. It's not been hacked for yet. I'm not gonna have it. My Instagram is just full of food and whatever.
Content still?
Yeah, I only put content on the show that I'm working on,
Okay.
or I do like a director's behind. It's really important to show what you do, and sometimes I've kind of cleared all the family and just made it about the work, and that's really important. The other thing is I just kind of make sure there's a link to my website, even though my agent gets me the work. It's just there's an access point for anybody that wants to reach out. And through that website, I have links to my lawyers, my agents, and there's a funnel system, as they call it. So they have access to bring me work through my representation. So I don't use social media that much. I use it to as pollen to bees.
So dry.
Just bring it to me and then hand it over to my agent. My agent deals with it. But it's rarely that. But once in a while, you might get, a catch.
That's what's that.
I struggle with social media. I feel that pressure to try and put out on social media constantly, but it doesn't come naturally to me, even though I am posting constantly. It doesn't come
I
naturally.
follow on Instagram, by the way.
It's that show up, shove out kind of thing, isn't it? It's really pressurised.
But it's like, the agents are like, post, do this. And I actually have booked work, like something quite big from posting a silly character on social media. But I don't do it enough. I don't feel like I want to flood my social media and be giving away my content for free in terms of like characters. I did do TikTok for a bit, TikTok live, and I was going crazy on there.
Was that lockdown?
After lockdown, I just like build up your socials. So I went on TikTok and I was playing all these characters. I was getting like so many followers, so many viewers on there. But then I got to a point and I'm like, what am I? I'm giving away because I was doing a really good show on there on my TikTok, and I'm giving it away for free, So I do think some people, make that they make their living from social media, and that's great. My little brother is a massive social media influencer, but for me,
it's a job in itself.
It's a job in
I
itself,
feel like that if you're a natural at that and you're kind of like, able and willing to kind of, appear and appease to audiences and interact and be consistent with that, and that's for you. Or the people like that are creators that have all the things they could be getting on with, wearing many hats, then it can be quite tiresome and quite pressurising. So I share the same.
Sorry.
Go next.
I have a love-hate thing with social media. Mine's all private. I did my second feature actually kind of used social media to get finance though.
Oh wow.
It was like it was a fight movie, and so when I brought it to the financiers, we kind of strategically used different cameos and stuff where they had big social media followings, and so that kind of helped establish a bit of a fan base. And so that was quite a way to use it. I don't know if it actually translated into them making money through their social media, but it helped us put it together.
So that was a plus. That was an advantage.
Yeah.
So what would you say would be the downside to how you view social
privacy.
media?
That's one thing. Just like that.
What about separating of the two? So maybe a professional profile and a.
I kind of lean on my agents and now I've just got managers as well, so I lean on them to do that. So I just think I hope they were generous.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Right. Next one then. Leading on. So this industry is definitely a hard one to navigate. Would you all agree? We'll just speak about that. And self-doubt is a common topic within some creatives. How have you tackled with this? If any self-doubt has occurred, and why did you overcome it? That's the question. Or how did you overcome it? Self-doubt and imposter syndrome. Let's go with you.
Yeah. Okay. I definitely have had moments. I've had moments where I thought of quitting for sure. It's 1 year and gone through terrible divorce.
Yeah,
and it put things in perspective. I only became full time. I mean, all I do is write and direct full time. A couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and that's after 15 years of working, doing other bits, teaching, lecturing. So, like, that's not to make it seem negative or impossible, but it's just that's how long it can take, you know. And I definitely had a moment where I was very close to quitting, and it was actually because I made my first feature, and there's that dreaded thing, your second feature, your sophomore film. It's like if you can't make your second, you kind of do it. And so I waited 2 years, 1 year, 2 years, and it became 4 years. And I was like ready to quit. I remember I was lecturing. They probably hit my guts, but it was the middle of the term, and AFM was happening. And I don't know, for all of you that don't know, it's the American Film Market. And so I thought, this is my Hail Mary. So I went out to AFM thinking, I'm going to go out there. So I told my boss, listen, I got to go to AFM. What the hell's AFM? You know? and so I said, I need 2 weeks off. So I took 2 weeks off in the middle of the term. They hated me, but I went out there. I took about 20 meetings with different sales agents and distributors, and raised 150 grand on that trip, which is my first money in, which is all the hardest money for a feature. Then that led to another chunk of money, and before I knew it, I had raised 1.5 million. And it was incredible. You've been there. And then I was in Canada within a few months, making my second feature, and then that led to getting an agent in the States, and then led to work. So all of that, and I was that close to quitting. And then I was thinking, what if I didn't raise that money? What would have happened when I quit? Probably, dogged as I am, I probably would have just waited and pushed it down, kick the can down the road and try to do it some other time, like go to another market.
Yeah, because it's a passion in it.
Yeah. But I was definitely, the money was just drying up, and it was really bleak. So that was definitely my moment of like on the verge of quitting. Yeah.
Well, I quit. after Montana.
Did you?
Yeah.
How long for?
5 years.
Oh.
5 years.
What did you? Sorry.
You guys should be writing this down.
I just hang with family, friends.
Get your phones out, notes.
Then at one point I traveled around Africa and went back to my country, found my country, connect. I've never been back to my country, so I went back, and they welcomed me with open arms and were watching my films. Illegally, by the way.
I understand.
I'm not making any money And then I got to meet young filmmakers. 5 years traveling, just travel around Africa, around Europe, just learn life.
It's incredible.
And then, because at that time, the reason I quit was the film wasn't making anything. I had scumbag, I'm going to call them scumbag producers who stole the money away.
We're not going to say any names.
Yeah, I don't care.
I'm not bothered.
No, it's fine. Read the credits, man. But that's part of the business. That's the shit bit. So I was disinterested. Plus, I was getting offered loads of films where they wanted films about urban black kids or working class kids stabbing each other. And I've got a big family. Usually. I've got a big family, and I've got nieces and nephews who are that age. And I didn't want to make. I came from grime. That's expressing ourselves. I didn't want to get these people who've never lived that life. Finance, exploit that life, and make their money and run off. And I said, I'm not going to tell that story and make my nephews and nieces afraid of their own environment. So I refused. I literally got signed to an agent as well, and I literally got signed to my agent after Montana, and within 4 months I told her I'm retiring. And she was like, go away, come back when you're ready. So 5 years later, I come back, and but in that process of going away, I got to meet real filmmakers who had nothing, who showed me the business out there, who showed me what art and creativity is. And I'm talking real filmmakers, not experienced. I'm talking young filmmakers, female filmmakers in countries where they're not allowed to touch a camera. Successful Senegalese filmmakers, Kenyan filmmakers who showed me the business side of things. I had to go to Africa to learn the business of filmmaking.
Wow.
You understand? How crazy is that? you know. So
But that was your war. That was meant to happen. Wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, that was
About stronger.
I
Yeah.
came back and then told my agent in 2000, height of just before COVID, hey, I'm ready, I'm hungry, let's get the work in.
Then COVID hit.
But COVID was a blessing and a curse because a lot of work came in.
Yeah.
So I got to work on Cobra and, you know, then I stepped into high end because I saw the work. But then the second part doubt is, can I make it? Can I do it? Can
And how do you sustain it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of sustain. Can I work in, you know, I had like, there's days where I had like 300 essays and everybody asking me 1,000, like, can I do it? And then you kind of go, yeah.
And
I can.
this.
Yeah, so as a creative, you're always going to get a creative disillusionment and doubt where it, you know, it makes you hate the industry or the industry falls out of love with you. But find a way to come back in, you know, go away, reinvent if you can, and that doubt is going to get erased. And then on a daily, not daily, but weekly creative process on set, as you know, of performing, delivering, there's doubt, there's human doubt, and then you just have to kind of center yourself and go, what are these, you know, I'm always making a list of what I need to achieve. So if I kind of spiral out in my, as a human,
You can bring it back.
you can focus
Yeah.
and, you know, calm, cool, collective
Yeah.
dictation, and you move forward. Alright, that's enough talk.
That's what we all should be doing in our lives, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
you know, bring it back to the present.
It's
To constantly
interesting.
remind yourself
Yeah, doubt
what you
is,
should be doing.
doubt is fear, face the fear.
Yeah.
You know, I'm afraid of it, but I run towards it. You
Just
know,
face it, yeah.
it's, you know, imagine, you know, when you shot your first water
Yeah.
episode, how did that, day one,
I was terrified.
yeah, you know, your first show, it's the stuff that gives you goosebumps, but gives you a heart attack at the same time. You know, but it's your perspective, how you see that fucking, sorry, how you see that, I will swear again, how you see that moment, and, you know, you either crumble and punch it through, so, you know, take a moment, take
You've got to
stock.
be thick-skinned.
Yeah, you just got to move, take a moment, take stock and move forward.
Yeah, yeah. Verona.
So I don't know how I overcome, it's just like deep down, if I'm honest, I don't know how I overcome imposter syndrome or self-doubt. I do have it a lot. It's become a lot less the more I do. But yeah, I think I'll just share with you how, like, what happens sometimes. I guess if I book a job or I go on set or anything I do, I sometimes start thinking, oh, am I the token? Am I here off of merit, or am I here because they wanted a black woman for this thing? Like, why, you know, so I genuinely don't know how I overcome it. Because you were speaking about times you guys left the industry, I've never really left, but a show that I wrote and got commissioned, got greenlit, it started off as a threesome, like it was a scheme that BBC were doing, BBC Three, and out of all of the shows that were commissioned, you know, the mini episodes, my show got greenlit for a long form show. But the process, that almost broke me. That almost broke me. It was like 3 years ago that I walked away from it, because I got to a stage where I don't really want to go down this path too much, but I got to a stage where I was realizing that I was putting in so much work. I was working with somebody else, and they were getting credit for what I was doing, and we both looked very different to each other. And they were. This person was taking credit for what I was doing, and I was being overlooked. And yeah, about 3 years ago now, we were just after lockdown, because lockdown we were writing the long form. Yeah, we were getting busy. We were, you know, in development in lockdown, writing the long form episodes. Everything kind of crumbled to pieces. But 3 years ago, I just had to say to my agents, like, I can't keep doing this, because it became a bit of a toxic space to be in. And initially, when I first got the commission, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, they don't really want me. Like, am I meant to be here? And then I kind of realised I was meant to be there. Like, they picked my show out of the others. But yeah, I don't know if I've answered your question, but I experienced
that pivoting thing and that like resilient mindset.
Yeah.
So no matter what's kind of holding you back, or you know, if you're being kicked to the curb or whatever, you've just got that thing in you that keeps you going. Yeah. sometimes you overthink it's just a natural thing that you possess that just keeps you highly motivated no matter what.
Yeah. Because they love
Humans
it.
probably can relate to that.
Yeah.
We've got stuff in our lives that happen where it's like, oh my god, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Yeah.
You just see the light at the end of the tunnel and keep going. So yeah. All right, on to the next question then. So is there anyone you've worked with that has given you inspiration or words of wisdom, whether it be on set or out of work, and it's stuck with you today and you're willing to share with us? Because I'd be intrigued to know. So, let's go.
So I was working with Verona Rose, the creator of Top Boy and writer on Top Boy, and we got loads of backlash for the last season of Top Boy. And I had a conversation with him because I'm also writing my own shows at the moment. And I said to him, "Oh my gosh, how do we deal with all of this backlash? Oh, it's a lot, And he said to me, "It doesn't matter if people do not like it, but what matters is if they don't understand it." And that has stuck with me. So I'm like, I get it. If they don't understand what you've created, there's an issue. If they don't like it, it doesn't matter. We just, So that's
good. Jesse,
Yeah, I'm working right now, just sort of developing a film with David Yellow, and he's definitely, anytime I can kind of connect with him, I learn a lot. Like he's just,
is that your mentor, essentially?
Yeah. I mean, he's just a force of nature, and the way he kind of that whole idea of not taking it up for an answer, he takes it really well. His sort of, he's really grafted over the years, and every film from Selma, United Kingdom, even his past reads, he was working on that for 10 years before it actually went on Paramount. So he's just really got an engine in him that doesn't give up. And I really feed off of that working with him. So he's definitely someone that kind of looked at it as a mentor figure.
Yeah, it's quite refreshing.
Yeah.
Mo,
there's two things. One is, there's a phrase, water for ducks back in any creative process. Like, sometimes you'll be on set or creating, you clash and it'll get heated. Wash it off and carry on.
Is that with the cast or with the director?
It's sometimes long hours, people are tired, it's nothing malicious, it's just human nature. Don't take it home with you. Don't take any failures and mistakes home with you. Erase it, go home, sleep it off, come back. You'll be surprised how refreshing and how different, I used to, very young, I used to take every personal comment that wasn't even a dig. I'll take it, and we all create the kind of, did that person try and mess with me?
Overthinking it.
Like it's a clash of creative ideas, find a solution, and don't overthink it, and then or if a failure happens, forget about it, tomorrow's another day, push forward.
Is that something that you learn over time, or did somebody actually show you the ropes of doing that? Did you learn that?
Well, what I've done is I've just kind of read, so I didn't have a mentor, that's why I kind of try and mentor a lot of directors now.
Okay.
So I just read so many books, and that's a quote that was like, that's really interesting. That's true, because the creative processes, you may clash with, not in a bad way, as a clash, it's just a difference of ideas.
Yeah, the synergies might differ, or
and that could grind you up. You have to stay clear-minded, but then you can take that negative energy home because you can't release it in that moment. You know, because they'll call you an angry backman. You know what I mean? Not to say that, but it's kind of just remember to wash it out. Tomorrow's a new day. It'll get better. Push forward. Not every day is terrible, but those little stumbles, the next day will get better. Like that difference of ideas, you'll connect within minutes because you have another scene to shoot. So you have to really have a thick, suede like exterior that you just have to keep moving for the project. And then the other one, I can't remember the other one. I forgot.
They'll come back to you I'm sure. All right, moving on then. So, having all worked with both, you understand how the festival works, the people, around it, and the themes. How important do you think film festivals are for independent filmmakers and upcoming actors, producers, and why do you think more people should be involved in film festivals? Do you have any testimonies of your own to share? I'll start with you. Yes or no?
Well, I don't think I would probably be where I'm at without Buff, to be honest. It was what I'm always appreciative of with this festival is that it gives a platform for us to tell our stories. Similar to what you're talking about, sending your film out, I kind of got a lot of rejections, just people not understanding it and
not taking you seriously.
Not taking me serious, not taking my story, or not understanding the story I was trying to tell. And when I sent it to these guys, they got it, and I think it's really important to feel heard and understood, and that's why I think festivals like this are really important.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so,
Brilliant.
I think I've made lifelong friends, like meeting them at Buff.
yeah.
Collaborators, you know, I've made Kyla Fry, you know, Clint Dyer, Will Johnson, all of them we've worked together, created stuff because we've met at Buff. So you might be sitting with your future collaborators, future partners, future rivals maybe, you never know. But I think I'd rather go with the collaboration route. You know, I think after here, instead of sitting podcasts with us, find out about each other. You might find opportunities amongst yourself. You might find a writer that you need on, fellow actor or fellow movement director, which I've met today, you know. Never I had to shout you out. Just met her today, really interesting thing, you know. It's making me think about stuff. So yeah, festivals are important to build your own crew and future collaborators.
Love that. Verona?
I'm just going to echo what Mo said, to be honest with you, but I've not actually put any of my films or work into a festival. However, I was almost entered my, did you like it? I almost entered Electric Queens into your festival this year.
You didn't enter it.
No, I didn't enter it because
Why?
I really wanted to, but I'm working on it now with a production company, yeah. So it was one of the things, I don't think I could screen it anymore. But yeah, I'm echoing what you say. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I like this kind of question. What's your proudest moment in your career to date? And I am going to go with you, Mo, on this one.
Wow.
Because I've heard so many, like, I want to know.
Did I say it?
Not literally, but it was kind of like, let's get to Africa, to learn it the hard way, to do this, don't let people knock you down, like, keep going. So, what's the greatest highlight of your career to date?
I think, so I made a documentary. My government gave me a tour of my country, Somaliland, and I took young filmmakers and taught them as we were moving around. And we made this documentary and we presented it to, shown it around the country.
That's huge.
But the deal was that if I make this with these young films, these guys have to have a plaque and recognition from the country. Not only that, the producer is a female, and that's the first time they've ever had a female producer on anything creative in that country's history. And they had to recognise her. Because
You were a part of that.
it's just how
Amazing.
And that's 7 years later. Now that all of these creatives have their own creative businesses, they're producers for TVs for the government. And, so it's just that one, not me, it's just how an idea can change.
Yeah, it's like a ricochet
Yeah,
effect.
I'm proud about that. As well as the stuff that I'm doing here, it's cool, but you know, real things, you know, if you can shift the needle, I'm cool with that.
That's so inspiring. Verona?
So mine has to be being the only female in the Netflix writers' room and being able to hold my own in that space. But then also I'm working on something at the moment. It's a creative process, but it's not acting. But I'm doing something. Has anyone heard of the agency?
The
No.
agency?
The agency.
Oh, yeah, I worked on the EPK on it.
Oh, I don't know. What's the EPK?
Electric Press Kit.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm working on this thing called the agency, working with young people, giving them this methodology that was created in Brazil, so that they can make social change in their area. And these young people come from disadvantaged backgrounds, and for me, seeing the growth in these young people and knowing that eventually they're going to be able to, well, they'll receive like £2,000 to start up a project that can make change, a positive change in that area. So for me, that, yeah, I love seeing social change, and I just wanted to sound I wanted to sound like I wasn't just selfish.
I'm trying to in this album when I got to work with, I was like, yeah! Do you know what I mean?
But deep down, like, I love to see other people flourish and grow, and yeah, I
It's important.
yeah.
Probably the first one, just because it was so hard. It just made me feel like a real filmmaker. So that's probably my promise.
You get to keep that under your belt, that's
Yeah.
great. So guys, all three of you are incredibly multi-talented, with multiple roles under your belt, and with that being said, how do you dabble between those titles and how do you find time to relax in between them? Because it's easy said than done, isn't it? Sometimes it all merges into one. I find being an entrepreneur and having a family and all the rest of it just being a normal human being. Sometimes when I'm trying to kind of separate and segregate family life and stuff from business, it somehow filters through and it's like, well, we're on a dinner date, but we're actually working as well. It's like a working dinner date, and my husband's like, no, it's a dinner date. So you put your phone away. Or, do you know what I mean? But yeah, it happens. So can you guys share with the audience how it works for you?
So what did you say? That you said something. How do you?
So being that you've got like multiple titles,
Yeah.
how do you find time to relax in between and separate like work life and get the balance?
I don't.
Yeah.
and I need to. That's why
That's
I'm
what
literally.
I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, I'm
it's
literally here and I'm like, I'm on the verge of burnout.
Yeah.
I need to find that time. I need to have a
Me
healthy
time.
balance. My brain is constantly ticking over. What's next? What can I do? Who do I need to reach out to? You know, so I don't have that healthy balance.
That's the element of being creative though.
Yeah.
I think most creatives will kind of like sympathise with that is our reality.
Yeah.
We're just a set of people that we just non-stop. We're
I think
always thinking about the
creativity
next
will be
best
different.
thing or how we can make a change or a difference or be about what we do. So it's quite a norm.
Yeah, why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Because I said I don't have like this.
I'm burnt out. Yeah.
3 things today, 6 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you ever sleep? No, it's free.
Yeah, no, I do actually. I get my 8 hours. So yeah, I make sure I get 8 hours.
No, I'm absolutely, but I love it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
Part of
yeah.
the job. Like I'm finishing off. I'm getting 6 episodes across the line with so many moving heads, and I'm writing 2 TV shows that have been in development with a TV network, and I'm also delivering a film that I'm shooting next year at the same time. So it's kind of managing your time, but having every 4th, 3rd day your time to do what you want with
So
your
it's
time.
kind of is the routine and it's about like management, is it? Management of your time basically and effectively doing that and working out what works for you and what doesn't and just prioritising really.
Yeah, but sometimes it all becomes
just
a blur and
merge.
you're cool with it.
Yeah.
You just gotta try and get 8 hours if you're lucky, you know. But just
And stay
try-
hydrated, guys.
Stay hydrated. Look, Steven Spielberg's doing a film a year. I can't complain. You know what I mean?
That's
I
incredible.
can't complain. That guy is pumped. I have nothing. I was zip my mouth.
And he's an older guy, he's still
Yeah,
still
Martin
doing it, going strong.
Scorsese. If those guys are doing a film a year, and it's just I have to keep up. I'm not saying I'm going to be at that level, but I can't.
But why not aspire to
Yeah,
that?
why- yeah.
Plenty of people in the room that want to be Steven Spielberg.
I've got to keep things moving to
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
next project. So,
why not?
just take every 4th day off, and if it's dead, just go on holiday or take a break for 5 years.
Still looking what you do and do what you
Yeah, I've
love.
had my rest. 5 years.
Yeah.
Of rest. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Jesse.
Because I think it's interesting, the whole multi-hyphenate thing. Like, when you start your career, I think everyone has to some extent be that. And then, like, when you start rising, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but like, when I'm talking to TV execs, why do you, as a director, why do you write? What's the point of writing? And when I mean, right now my career is kind of split in a strange way where all my TV directing is in the UK and my writing stuff's in the US. And it's like, I think, then it became a choice though. For me, I love storytelling and I love doing both, so I leaned into it. I am a writer, I am a director, I produce, and I don't plan to stop doing any one of the 3 at any point in my career. And so it's just about carving out time. So my friends know I write every day. Okay, so like I'm off limits.
So you kind of make it
Yeah.
count. It makes sense to
For
what
sure.
you're doing either way.
Yeah.
So you're producing something, but you're also having the time having fun with it.
Yeah,
having
and
the
I'm
time
just
to
about juggling. So when I'm
Yeah.
shooting, for instance, a show or whatever, I'm maybe writing evenings or doing pitches or whatever it is. And then when I'm off the show, I know that from this point to this point, I'm working on this script or whatever. So it's just been really, I read this book, Chasing the Light by Oliver Stone, and he had a goal of writing 2 scripts a year. And so I try to do that.
Incredible.
Whether it's film or TV. So just really keeps the fire under us. So.
Yeah, okay. Did you guys always plan to be multi-titled? So I mean, is it by default, or was it like you just like kind of merged into it, or was it like, no, actually, I don't want to just stop here, I want to do 7 things? That's one part of the question. Was it unintentional for you to fall into the place where you are? And can you share a story on how it morphed into
I can
being a
talk about,
multi-hyphenate?
so my first film, I had like a producer, and then it didn't work out, and I didn't want to produce my film at all. And then it just wasn't, no one's gonna love your baby as much as you. And so one producer came and it didn't work out, and then I ended up, we had a producer on it, but I had to do a lot as well. And I actually was really grateful for that experience. Even at the time, I'm like, why the fuck? You know, I was like, why do I have to do this and that? But it actually forced me to learn all the nuts and bolts of putting a movie together, from pre-production, production, getting a distribution deal, and all the rest of it. So, like, even if at Apple, I'm an executive producer. So,
Wow.
you know,
But that in itself is giving you multiple titles, really, isn't it? It's
and I
one thing.
hopefully I can be a producer or an exec on everything I develop myself. You know, and just because then you get to pull the curtain up and see how everything's put together. So.
But that wasn't with intent, was it?
It was not a necessity,
Yeah,
but now it's sort of by choice.
Yes,
Yeah.
What was the question again? Sorry.
Please don't burn out.
Sorry,
don't be too unintentional with it.
Yeah.
But no, basically, like, you know, you didn't plan to be multi-hyphenate, or did you? That's the question, basically.
I didn't plan. I just wanted to be a director, but then suddenly when we've been pre-writing scripts and ideas, labs, and suddenly scene writing, I'm chucking in my ideas and it's working. And I'm going, oh, then why am I not getting that credit? You know, you realise you're throwing these structural ideas and you're working out beats and moments, and you go, I need to write. But then I'm dyslexic, so I had to find ways of writing, which is dictation
Navigating,
and typing, but then I find myself being very busy as a director, so I've decided to have a writing partner
Right.
who's creatively on the same level as me, and you know, so we work together. We've got 6 projects on the ground in development, as showrunners, executives straight away, not as writers. Again, that shield that you have to have is, I'm going to write something, I need to be EP, show, I need to make those decisions in the room and hire who I want, you know, writers, and it's great, and you know, the companies are supportive and open to that. So it's almost I fell into it, but if I'm really honest, I had it in my plan.
I was just about to say, but you love it. 'Cause
You
being a multi-hyphenate is actually quite interesting. It's
everybody wants to
quite
be
cool, actually.
creative,
Yeah,
set up their
learn
own
so much.
business, and then have their collaborators and affiliate and set up not an empire. I don't believe in the puff daddyism. The whole kind of big, flashy, I own everything. I've got like multiple studios. No, it's just like carve your own niche and have your team around you. And if you get, you know, if you can run your own kind of content in terms of TV and films and theatre, then it's a good look.
Yeah,
We all want to get there. You just got to plan.
Mine was,
It
it was out of necessity because I was going for auditions, but also I wasn't getting many auditions.
Right.
I wasn't booking the auditions that I was getting. So I decided to start writing my own stuff. So I started writing, put myself as the lead, and then that opened up doors for me. And that's what I continue to do. It opens up doors. I actually also work in like entertainment, or factual entertainment and things like that. So because I'm constantly coming up with ideas and sending them out, so it was more of a necessity because I wanted to work as an actor and I wasn't booking anything.
So you worked it, and it worked in your favour.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Right then, we're going to kind of wind things down now a little bit. Maybe we'll go on forever because it's such a great Q&A and the topics are refreshing, and you know, I'm sure everybody's sitting here taking it all in. But what I wanted to ask was, what advice would you give anyone trying to be an actress, writer, an actor, director, producer, any of those roles? There's plenty of people in this room, I'm sure, that are kind of merging in, or they're already doing it, or how can they do better? What would be your advice for them?
So mine would be to create your own work and show people what you can do, because sometimes we will sit and be like, oh, I can do this, I can do that, but if nobody ever sees your work or sees that you can do it, how will they ever know? So mine would be to create your own work. And you know, even if you're not a writer, I wasn't a writer, you just have to try and try again, and make mistakes. If you make mistakes, you learn from those mistakes, and
It's not that you're losing or it's a loss, it's actually a lesson.
Yeah.
Taking it out.
Yeah.
Take it as a lesson.
Yeah. A lesson or a blessing.
Yeah, definitely. It's the way you perceive it, you see. So this is changing the mindset into that more proactive, positive, you know, refreshing outlook. So
Yes.
I'd say one, I've said it before, which is know your business side of things.
And you work.
Yeah,
Hand in hand,
same
maybe,
thing.
so that's
Like,
really
yeah,
echoes.
just
That's
like
it.
every idea, every process has to have some sort of paperwork to cover you. And the other thing is like, you have these meetings where you're pitching ideas or you've been interviewed for a job. Prep like there's no tomorrow. That's how I get my jobs. If I interview for shows or you presenting maybe, but for us as directors, we have to either be in a room or Zoom with other executives and writers who have probably been writing for 4 years, and they want to know why they want to hire you. So I come fully prepared with story structures, with the characters, the world building, lighting references, costume references, art department references. I come in with like 80 pages.
You're doing the do.
Yeah,
Doing the most.
that's
Getting
the
it done.
prep. That's the
Yeah,
prep.
it's good.
That's the prep. I think, for you to get that next phase, you have to prep.
Really
Monster,
important.
like a monster.
Can I ask you a question? How long do you have to prep for?
I asked for 4 days.
Wow. And
Does that work for you every time, depending on the size of the project?
Well, what normally happens is my agent, would send me the script and go, "Are you interested?" And I'll read it and I'll go, "Yeah, I'm interested to have a meeting." And then they'll throw some dates, and then I'll look at my calendar. I go, "I need a bit of runtime for me to dive into, So I have like over hard drives of like crave images and artwork and just that I kind of connect.
It's a bit like a Pinterest board, essentially. You've got all the different.
Yeah, I don't use sheets. Is it shot finder?
Shot
design?
deck.
Yeah, everybody's got that, so I want to be different. So I even started learning Mid-Journey. AI, build world building, so I could go, "You've never seen what I'm doing." And then those 4 days, I read the script. You read it once. You just read it as a viewer, what you like about it, you remember that, and the next time you break it down, and the third time you start going, okay, what I need to discuss. What am I going to talk about? Okay, this character's arc, these emotional beats, these story outlines that I think are going to potentially become big, and what is kind of certain scenes I could talk about, how I want to shoot it, lighting references.
Okay.
Some people will go, okay, I want to talk about the biggest setup. I go, I'll reverse it. I want to talk about the drama first, because and then the big setup is they know I can do that. That's why I'm in the room. The little things is what I want to talk about.
The little things make
Just
big
the drama,
things.
the human
Yeah.
element, and that's what I'm. So that's where you have to kind of sit with yourself,
Absolutely.
and then you go in the room, and I kind of like have a mind map which I will draw of what I will discuss. Not like today when I mentioned personality. I know where the conversation's going.
It's like where we go with this now. Taking me down the wrong lane here.
Didn't mean that way, but the mind map is where I take the conversation. Also, I kind of set up. I think of what they're going to ask me and how I'm going to answer.
It's kind of thought provoking, that is, isn't it? At the same time, because
That's
you're
my job.
going to get back. It's like
Yeah,
somebody's brain.
it's like if I talk about like these walls need to be green. What if one of them goes, "Why is it green?" Well, I'll go, "Well, it's a flashback to her mother's death. She was in a garden and she fell in the grass." And this character, I just made this up by the way. But that green is constantly over the character, like almost pulsating. His mother's, the kid seeing his mother die in the grass. You put it on the wall, it creates this tension.
Yeah.
I've just made all of that up right now, but you just have
It
that.
still makes sense.
Yeah, you kind of go, all right, I know they're gonna ask that. You
Yeah.
have to find them. Let's look at it. That's a good question.
Yeah.
We're going to go over to the audience in one
Yeah, yeah.
second. I just
Anyway,
want to
I'll
get Jess's last little take on.
Sorry for the
So basically, it was kind of like, what would you advise potential directors to producers?
I think one, read the trades. Like I read the trades every day. Like just know what the trends are. I think as a writer, I think it kind of ties in with trades, but like looking at genre and you know, seeing what's sort of I kind of write almost like a producer. So I'm always thinking about what's sort of hot right now, and I marry up something that interests me thematically with the genre. And that seems to work quite well.
That makes sense for everything, to be honest. Like, just find out what's going on, what's hot, and what's not.
Yeah,
Just kind of
like genre and
stuff.
theme, though. Like
Yeah,
they kind of
yeah,
tie them together.
it's
That seems to
Work for you.
since I've started doing that. It's not, I don't want to say like it's formulaic, but there is
It's made a difference.
Yeah, and the last few have had good success.
Okay, amazing. Right, so this is the nice bit, the fun bit. We're going to hand the mic over to you guys in the audience to ask questions, and if we just raise a show of hands, we can. Would you need some water? Yeah, but you don't need to get it. Sorry, one of my colleagues will. Could you get some water for this lovely panel here?
It's here, we can do it.
Okay. We can. Oh, it's bottles. Okay, bottles.
Do you want me to pour it into guns now?
No, I'll make it.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll start with you because you've been dying to ask 10 minutes.
Just because I'm now, I feel, I mean, your talk is very inspirational because I'm now at the stage that you described that you were in when you had your film at Bath. So I have a film at Bath. It's a feature documentary about Ukrainian refugees. And now I'm exactly at that stage where so first of all, I'm struggling with money. It's very hard to make a living because, I mean, everyone's going through this where you have this daily struggle of having to make the decision, am I going to make a film or I'm just going to find a job, like a normal job and make money, right? So I had to put in on my own money and obviously this is not easy, but then, I have some Ukrainian relatives, so I just felt like I have to do this film, and I'm happy that it's finished now and it's screening at film festivals, and we'll see what will happen. So one question would be, how did you make money in the beginning? That's my first question. And my second one is actually for you, Mo. You mentioned this whole mess that you had to go through with the producers, people taking money from you, distributors, and all the sharks out there. And for me, as I don't have a mentor and I'm learning everything by doing it now myself, it's not easy because I have to figure every single step I have to figure out myself. And I have just found a distributor who actually shared office with Bath, so I know I can trust them, so I know that is good. But even with them, I have to know.
You have to protect yourself.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and I don't.
No,
It's hard. Like there's so many things that I just don't know, and then again, like I know what the plan is now with the release, but even though knowing what it is, I don't know what it means. So, do you have any advice for me?
Yeah,
These are my two
Can we
questions.
go back to the first question, which is how do you do you make money first? Yes, two. And the second one was for you. Do you want to answer the one with how do you make money
sure.
quickly?
I didn't make money for 15 years. So
But how did you?
I taught, I was lecturing, I was teaching.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's
first
when like
The first time I made,
So was it you?
the first time I made money was that film I went into to Canada, and I was producer, director, writer on that. They deferred my producing fee, which I've never seen. I think I got like 50 grand for that, and that was the first time I ever got a proper thing. And that was 5 years of development. Off the back of that, then TV, and to the point where it became a full-time thing. What I would say is I hear like everyone wants to make money out of their film. I was approached to like if I invested money, it was my family to my first film. I didn't make a penny from my first film, but if I look at my career, I was investing in my career, and so I actually as I progressed, projects started getting more value, and then I started getting paid. But it took a long time.
So you were lecturing, you were
teaching workshops, and I still do them from time to time more now. One of the main reasons I do them is I love meeting new actors. I've cast, I think, about 3 actors now in Waterloo Road from just doing workshops, so I'm really proud of that.
Okay.
It was almost percentage. Like 10 years ago, it was like 90% lecturing, 10% my own stuff. And all I wanted to see was that the percentage would shift. And over time, it became 70-30, 60-40, 50-50. Then it was swinging to 90-10 to my filmmaking career. And so that's how I looked at it in terms of balancing.
Moving on to the last point that she made. Question. Do you just want to quickly refresh what the question was for me?
The distribution.
The legal
of
side,
all-
yeah.
things,
No, I'm just-
trying to figure
I
things
love
out.
his answers. Brilliant.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, the
It's not that
percentage.
Liam was on.
No, it's
Just the way
great.
that-
Honestly, I think the simplest thing is a book called The Legal Handbook for Filmmaking.
Sorry, can you just say
The
that?
Legal Handbook for Filmmaking.
Illegal.
The legal.
So the legal, let's just reiterate that.
I think it's called the legal film book. Yeah, the legal film book handbook for filmmakers. And there's 2 volumes or 3 volumes, and it's literally written by a writer, a lawyer called Tony Morris, who used to be my lawyer, but now I've got 2 agencies that look after it. But he's still a really good guy, great guy. And he's written this book for creatives to understand the film and TV business. Literally, he's got a contract template for distribution, for writing, for location. Literally, it's quite hard to read because it's so lawyery. But
guys, make a note of it, please. This sounds like
and I'll give you a link. I'll give you guys up a link to these books. I think I've got all the volumes, 3 volumes, and they literally show you they'll teach you what a contract is.
It's like a blueprint.
Yeah, if you've got a distribution issue or you don't know what that is, this book will tell you what a distribution deal should look like. And we'll even give you a template for a distribution contract that you can set up, or co-writing, or even like essays or public. If you shoot a scene and you got the public in the background, you have to get them to sign up. There is a template. You know, there's no PDF sadly, so you have to rewrite the whole contract. But that's such a great book. But there's also so many kind of those little tidbits online. You know, it's surprising how many creators don't just type it on Google what they're thinking. Seriously, I found so many answers about the legal things, the business side, just by typing. Do you know what I mean? How much percentage? You know, I was young, I did Shank, didn't have a lawyer, didn't have an agent, I just typed in what percentage a filmmaker makes.
It's going to tell you.
Makes, you know.
But then,
and I doubled it when I told them.
and then, for example, if a film is on Amazon, which is going to be with my film,
Yeah.
what does this mean? This is something that I can't find in this book, and this book obviously sounds like amazing.
Yeah, the book, well, that's why deep diving into it and searching
researching
media lawyers as well. You know, I think again the business side you have to start sharpening that tool. You know, because the airy fairy world, creativity and art.
Are
Is
they
great.
putting it through
Yes.
an aggregator or
Yeah,
through a
yeah,
distributor? How are they putting
You
it
need
on?
help with navigating, of course.
Yeah.
Right?
Is it through an aggregator?
What's
Or
an accreditor?
It's like a company that
Kind of
puts it on for you,
Yeah.
or is it?
What it is,
That placements.
I don't want to speak for you, Miriam,
Yeah.
and I don't know your distribution story, but because you just mentioned literally what
Yeah.
we're talking about, so
Yeah.
Bohemia Euphoria,
Oh yeah,
so you know
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
right?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah. I mean, he is one of the good guys.
yeah, yeah.
He really is.
Kaylee, right? Alex Kaylee or something like
That's his boss.
Is
that?
that
Runs
who?
at Bohemia, is it?
Alex, yeah, he's gone.
Oh, okay.
It's just now Shawnee.
Shawnee's
Okay.
Shawnee's great, and she's
Yeah.
honest. She'll look after you.
Mm.
Yeah.
They're good.
Everybody that
yeah,
you
yeah,
have
they're
is good on the team. The truth of the matter is, you know, for your first film, we all experienced it. You're going to get a tiny return, if
Yeah.
any at all, because you don't have an audience yet. With all due respect, no one knows you, babe.
Yeah.
I mean, we know you now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, and your
Yeah.
story might have legs because of the political climate, but actually your audience is tiny. So walk that journey on the stairs. Do you know what I mean? You can't get in the elevator just because you've got a distributor and think that you're going to make £1 million on your first film.
I know.
It's likely that you won't. Do you know what I mean? Unless you've got A-list talent in that film, and even then,
Yeah.
a lot of films are bombing at the box office. People consume content really differently now through streaming. But I think I'm sure Bohemia, because we distributed, I think, 200 festival films to their platform when they first launched, and then we shared an office together for 6 months before we moved up north. Read the contract. Read it word for word.
I did, and I had lawyers going through it, and I worked with lawyers, and still, I'm
And you
not.
still
I can't.
unsure. If
There's
you don't
some
mind,
things that
send me
I
an
just
NDA,
need
I'll
to
read
somehow
it for
figure out
you.
on the way somehow.
Okay, if you want me to, send me a non-disclosure and I will read it and I will tell you if there's any question marks.
Yeah, it's more about, for example, the marketing expenses or how
Yes.
things are going
Yeah,
to
I mean,
work
cap
once
the
it's on.
P&A spend. They're going to try and like say
then
Peanuts, but
you know,
present
20
advertising.
grand or something like
Let's
that.
say
What would you
100,
say?
200 grand, and then your film, your documentary has to make back that.
Yeah.
Because they said we've created a press and advertising campaign for your documentary online. You're like, how did you spend that much? They can easily put those zeros in there because you didn't put a cap in there. Also, you got to clip their little spend money when they're doing your selling your documentary in festivals. You know, because they'll be buying Dom Perignon and saying that they're selling your
Yeah, true.
and then they charge it too. All of that has to be clipped. You know, but again, I think you just have to learn the business and go and speak and hang out, and there's a bit, you know, you just gotta understand it from outside of the creative, and then you'll see it differently. You know, this is great. This is a wonderful journey you're in now. It's tough, it's scary, but you know, just find those answers that you wanna kind of ask right now.
Okay, I'm not quitting too, I'm just conscious of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I must have other people in here who want to ask
Let's take
questions.
about
So,
4
at
other
the back there, yeah.
Thank you for talking. It was really, really insightful from everyone. It was really good. Just a good question. How do you deal with criticism or feedback from anything that you do? Well, how small the project is, or how big it is in terms of the biggest thing you've done, you know, up to date in your career or whatever, or do you just not bother with it at all? Like, do you sort of just not look back and just be really proud of the work that you've done? Or do you sort of go into that rabbit hole thinking, shit, what does everyone think? You know, like, this is good, like, you know, let me check it out on IMDb, or I'm setting aside like social media, which is just full of whatever, right? It's all mixed. But I mean, in terms of like the bigger publications, platforms, or whatever, do you look back at it? Do you think, oh, like this is the standard that I'm at? If these lot are what, you know, classify me, or this is, or you just carry on and just think, I'm proud of my work. Create a platform.
Like, so Shank, my first film, was slated by every cool reviewer, critic that I used to watch. Hated it. Suddenly the film was a box office hit. How does that work? Do you know what I mean? And it immediately light bulb moment. I'm not making it for those critics. You know? And then suddenly you kind of go, that doesn't matter. Like, I've never made it for that. I'm bankable, not in a cocky way, but it's like, make it for certain, even though if it's bad, there's somebody who wants to watch it and then watch it. I've had people that watch my film run across and went, your film is shit. Literally, and I went, did you go to cinema and pay for it? They were, yeah, well, I've got percentage. You're gonna get that. I don't make it, I never make it for anything. I have to please myself. And it's business at the end of the day. Like, it's got to get, all my projects have created, thank God, have made returns. I've made returns, and I'm, you know, profitable in a way. And if the day I'm not, then it's cool. I've expressed myself. I've done my work. So, fuck them. Sorry. Final swear word.
It's a technical term.
So sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we've got
Yeah.
time for 3 more.
3 more, show of hands. Yeah, it's lovely lady at the
Oh,
front.
okay. I wasn't quite ready for that. So, I've myself and my hyphens are doctor, actor, writer.
Okay.
Right, and now producer. So myself and 2 other doctors wrote and acted in and produced what we now have about 35 minutes of material, which is like a medical dramedy in an A&E department. It's like funny and it's intense. And my question is around ownership.
Okay.
I think, because we've come up with a really fabulous idea. We have unique experience as doctors. We're writing from our personal experience. And of course, we funded all of that ourselves, and we've produced it at a very high standard in a medical environment. And we, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so we've got the premiere on November the 20th.
Amazing.
Which is great. We are looking for somebody to be the host, so like to cover. I'll ask Jesse, but sadly he's busy. So if you want to do that, please come and see me after. But my question is about, well, my original question was going to be about how the, I was going to use about it's a technical term. How do you get in with the commission? How do you find out who's commissioning stuff? You know, How do you get in with the commissioners, basically? Because you've got casting directors, you've got amazing directors, but actually those are people who are going to go, that's a really good idea. But then, if you do that and they like it, how do you stop them? Okay, all right, well, thanks very much, that's a really nice idea. We've got this other actor, actually, who we think would be quite good for Dr. Rosebush. So, and actually, we've got some script writers that could, how do you protect your
work?
Yes.
Your idea.
I mean, ultimately, like a production company, because it's trust, and commissioners are going to want to work. Even if, like, say, if you have a small indie company, the best way to is to partner up with a bigger company, and then do it with broadcaster directly. I think it's really tricky to like kind of go in, try to sell something direct to a commissioner.
Right.
So, especially at the beginning of your career. So I think it's finding a production company that maybe is doing something that resonates or has an alignment in terms of tone to what you're pitching. In terms of like your deal, like if you don't have an agent, it's just about like I would personally get a lawyer to look at it, to kind of make sure it's clear. But basically, typically you're optioning it for a period of time, and then there's like things built in about writing a pilot, developing the show bible, or whatever.
And then the other side of it is that we purposely chose to have like very strong like global majority people representation and queer people and non-binary, so it's like everybody on the cast was either female or non-binary. And so how can we use that? Is that leverage? Is that important? Does it matter?
Does it set you apart?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I don't know if someone wants to chip in.
I mean, as long as the idea is good, that's the main thing. Number one is the main thing, and I think if you want to, commissioners are the ones that they're kind of the last, not the gatekeepers, they're the final boss in a way of getting commissioned. Before that, you have to find a production company, you have to find a script development, develop executive or producer. That first, you got to look at the production companies and go, who might be interested in my idea? So you have to filter that, and you probably come up with 7. And in that 7, you have to go in there about and team and look at who's managing the story, new ideas, script developers, team department. Check their background. What are they into? You got to do a bit of Sherlock Holmes, as I say.
That's one thing as well. Like especially, I still write on spec, but I'm a big fan of writing on stuff on spec, TV or film. And like especially if you're unproven in that space, I think don't just write the treatment, write a pilot. Like,
Don't just
you're going to be filming
If you're developing a film, don't write the treatment. I write them because the other thing with that is like say you write the treatment and then someone pays you $500 or £1,000 for that, you develop it. Say you go sell it, you're like it's a really cool idea, you actually can sell it, and it's a big movie. Then you got this middle person that's in there who hasn't really done shit, that's taking a big cut. So I'd rather bet on myself and spend 6 months writing, and then it either works or it doesn't. But then at least it's, and also you don't get all the diluted ideas, and because no offense if someone's a script editor, but sometimes they're not very good, So.
I've got a question. How many writers are on that project?
Oh, well, it's interesting because originally there were 3, but one of the people, and this is actually another question, but I don't want to use that in his face, which is one of them actually turned out to be a really shit person. So that was a lesson in not collaborating with people.
Have you got any paperwork between yourselves?
No,
percentage of
nothing.
ownership?
It's all done on
You have to have that paperwork because
yes.
if the show becomes a success, that so-called bad writer might turn up and go, oh, half of that is me. You owe me. So again, if you're going to collaborate, has to have a paperwork.
I think the professional element, the business element of what you're doing, really important.
Thank you.
I'll just add, my very first commission, I signed a really poop contract, really shit contract, because I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, production company picked it up, I know BBC want it, I'm now with these guys, signed a really shit contract. But because I then reached out to agents. And my agent managed to get me out of that contract.
When you say agents, agents, what? I mean, I know acting agents, but they're...
So I have an acting. Well, so the agency that I'm with, they look after me as an actor and a writer.
Yes.
But they managed to get me out of the contract. So I created the show, wrote the show. But then the contract said that I was a presenter. Which there was I was acting in it.
Just dull it down a little bit for you.
Yeah. I mean, there was, lots of big words in there that I didn't understand, and was so excited that I just hastily signed. Yeah, so definitely, as I said, get
And this is
somebody
where
to
lawyers
look
are
over it.
important, not cutting you through it.
Yeah.
I feel like having a lawyer look over it afresh and just to be sure that what you're going into, that's their bag. They know what they're doing, so you've got to trust and lean on that, right?
And the production company may want to own some of the IP, so you need to
All of that.
yeah.
You can negotiate with a lawyer and go, look, mate, if you don't have any money, you can say, look, I can put a percentage kind of like release once this get commissioned. Because the first payment for signing a contract to be in development, you go, look, I can put 5 or 10% of that fee to you if we start working together. Again, let's put that on paper so it's trusted a lot. And we can even put a time cap on it of 6 months. So you're not committed for 5
you're not tied in.
You give me a contract within 6 months. If I don't
There's
pay
a
you,
lot to think about.
if I don't pay you within 6 months, then I'll try and pay you. And that could, business. It's business.
So helpful.
Yeah, when you get the opportunity upstairs to do the one-to-one thing, you can obviously delve into this.
No, I think it's really important that you either get the paperwork or whatever together for this other writer that you had on, because that can sabotage everything.
Yeah.
Time for 2 more questions.
Okay.
2 more. Come on, let's have it.
My question is surrounded by a statement that I have come to understand. Few know, but most believe that AI is in its infancy. And how do you feel that that is going to affect your work going forward?
Good question.
I just used AI this week, actually. So I usually do lookbooks for everything. And usually I got this one designer use, but this is a sci-fi. And so I really wanted the lookbook to convey the world I want to portray. And so I found it very exciting in that space. I wouldn't not work in video, movie image, but for lookbooks and stuff like that, he did stuff that I don't think a normal designer would have achieved. So I was really excited.
Guys, what about your take on that, just really quickly?
I've not thought about taste that.
Okay.
I do the same thing. Like when I'm doing my preps, when I'm building my kind of pictures and worlds, I go to Midjourney, spend weeks trying to figure it out, which I love. But I've started to see a lot of people pitching projects to me, and you can see it's been written by AI.
So it's like got to move with the times.
I bloody hate it, and I could tell because you know the words.
It's sort of mirroring, isn't it, along the way?
Yeah, you can just see what it's just. You just doesn't. So I'd say don't create a story with an AI. Maybe use it to come up with ideas and then develop it and make it bigger. But nowadays, people could really.
And I think this, not cutting you, we still don't want to be losing our way, our human way of doing things, our approach, because you can't get better than that, can you? It's literally good to be able to kind of release stuff that's naturally created within, and the AI robot can't do that really. Truly, it's being taught something, and I've
tested it out. I've said don't give me a story about this, and it will give me 12 pages.
Yeah, but it's quite generic.
It's generic, but it's kind of like crazy that a lot of people would copy and paste it.
So the reason why the sole reason why I actually asked is because if we take a look at technology such as the iPhone, we're on iPhone 16. But realistically,
when that happened,
if you think about when iPhone actually came out and the time gap between them, and obviously AI being in its realistically first year, what do you feel is going to be the vision after if you take the time gap of what iPhone has done and apply it to AI? Like, where are you going to be on that pedestal? Is in like how much of a tool do you think it's going to be?
An AI will never have my perspective, my expression, my feeling.
Impossible.
I can't. It would never match what a human does. It could get close, but it won't. The only people who are going to use it, for example, yesterday I was reading ITV have started to commission ITV to come up with show ideas. It's the people who don't have ideas. I'm not saying ITV don't. The people who don't have ideas are the ones that are going to use it. We are going to put our pens on paper or our fingers on keyboards.
Make it happen.
Yeah. I'm sorry, this is just on that subject. My brother happens to work in an area that this is quite prolific, and the British government have signed that they will not affect the arts.
Mm.
If you're a lawyer, you're strict that the
Yeah,
arts
that's
they have
good.
signs, but they will not affect the arts.
Yeah.
Even
You need
AI
that.
will
You
allow.
need that innate
It's
creativity.
a 20-year sign.
Oh, wow.
They couldn't get, unfortunately, couldn't get China to sign, but Britain has signed that they will not touch the arts.
When did that happen?
End of July.
Good.
It's good to have
Yeah.
these conversations.
Yeah.
So
So
somebody else
I-
can pass that on.
It won't have your voice though. It won't have your idea. Like,
It's not, yeah.
Because I've got a friend who basically writes code in learning, and what he has stated to me is that there are very few people who can see over the hill. That they can't actually see past the mountain. And in that, because AI is in its infancy, we can't concept what it will be in 5 to 10 years. And as I said, the statement is that very few know, but most believe, because obviously you can't do both at the same time. You either know or you believe, one of the two. And I just feel like a lot of people are really overlooking AI. They're not taking it for the threat
What
that
it
I
is.
believe it genuinely is. So I guess, in a sense, thank you for answering my question in the most honesty, to be honest.
There's copyright issues with using AI, right? So basically, like you said, coding, or whether you're like using it for like a GUI generator for a script or something like that. If you're using an AI platform, especially like ChatGPT or whatever, right? They technically own the rights to it, right? So if you go and publish something, that can come and bite you in the ass years down the line. So if you want to take that route, then do it. But I mean, I wouldn't bother.
And that's the
Like you
interesting
said,
thing,
yeah.
though. It's sold to you, isn't it? Take it. Everyone's taking it. And then what's the repercussions? Have you even researched what that means for you, plagiarism, all the rest of it? And a lot of people do not take note of that. They're just thinking it's a tool that's been given to us and we can all use it freely. But actually, there is, like you said.
Yeah,
That's what the ITV thing's all about, because they've offered 85 grand for someone to come up with an AI to do
94.
all of their shows, which 85 grand is nowhere near enough to do all of ITV's shows. That's a ridiculously small amount of money for that sort of work. So
I'll tell you what I use ChatGPT, whatever it is. I'm
ChatGPT.
dyslexic, as you can see. I kind of like everything I write comes across quite angry, which is not. So I go, please write politely. That's all we want to use. Instead of being going, I need this now. I go, make this polite and copy and paste. That's all.
Anyway.
Yeah. That's it.
So I wanted to ask, when you, obviously as a multi-hyphenate, you do multiple things and you're good at those things, but you always have to collaborate with others. How do you, well, of course, avoid burnout, but also find people that are as passionate as you are? Then if it's your baby, you know,
It's hard.
It's really hard. It's never going to be the same. But are as passionate as you, and also are as good in the sense that you can trust it, let it go, and know that it's going to come back to you how you need it.
So the question is, how do you find these people?
Yeah, those collaborations.
And knowing it's right. Yeah.
Do you collaborate with people and then kind of have those partners, like writing partner?
I've collaborated with some of the people and it didn't work out, and that's normal. It's not lottery. It's just sometimes it doesn't work out. Keep it moving. You know, don't take it personal. Like I said, I think. But when it works out, it's great. You know, it's good. But it's tough. I think just find people who you like hanging out with, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, you know, then just separate very calm and cool. You know, it doesn't have to be beef. It doesn't have to be an argument. It shouldn't affect your psychology. You shouldn't avoid each other. You know, because 5 to 10 years. You'll probably be at the same level across the table from each other.
You never know what you're going to be like in together. So
sometimes there's a few people across the table that want to strangle.
It's like, oh, there you are again.
But
unexpected that.
Yeah, it's collaboration. It can go a good way, bad way, and you need paperwork. So you shut it down. It doesn't work. You know.
And you might go through 10 people just to get to that one.
Yeah.
And also really pushing that, you know, well, I know I can produce, but actually I'm acting in this, or I'm directing it. So I might need someone who can really produce the sheer, out of my film or my series.
You have to
So
trust
you're
others.
not putting out the fires.
Yeah, one of the hardest is letting go of trusting the people around you, letting them do it for you. You have to be clear in your direction and trusting your collaborators to do it. It's the hardest thing. That's one of the hardest things I've learned.
Just
My
thinking
first
visions,
film,
isn't it, as well?
yeah, my first film, I had like all my crew from music videos work with me because I've trusted them. Second film, I didn't trust a lot. It took me a while to let go because I didn't know them, but I realized, oh my God, they're here to support and back me. You know, this is the crew, and I learned very quickly. You know, I'm good. They probably have 30 years experience, but that doesn't mean they know more than me. But still, I'll lean to the expertise and use them to create my vision. You know, sort of dictate to them, I want that fight. Kind of go, okay, you may know more than me, but I want it like this. And I don't need to explain to you why, but I'm here to have it like this. So we are going to do this and get it done. Thank you very much. You know, do you know what I mean? I don't mind what you do with your genius, but this is what I want because this is my style, this is my vision. This is what I want to do, you know? Obviously you had tone meetings and stuff, but that's what letting go is giving them the inspiration to make it for you.
Yeah.
You know? And if it doesn't work, then you go back and collaborate and communicate and now shift it, move it here. You know, great, I like that. Can you go back with something else? You know, and that's being a good kind of.
You've got to be the mover and shaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like juggling so many things, but then when one thing, you have to make sure that it's picked up.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also,
But don't pick it up yourself. Let them pick it up in a good way.
Yeah,
Like,
make the
trusting
mess.
them.
yeah,
Trusting them that they can pick it up. Do you see what I mean? They can do it. They're there to do it. Like, not like a servant, but like they're trusting them to make it happen. I trust in your ability to make that happen. I look forward to seeing that, you know, in a positive way. Okay, do you need to be there now? But you have to let go.
yeah.
Otherwise you'll burn out.
Delegating,
Yeah.
it's
You
hard.
know what I mean?
I think what you've described, Mo, is actually how you know that you're working with the right people. The fact that you can actually trust them to crack on.
Yeah.
You've set up,
Yeah.
you've had your meetings,
Yeah.
everyone knows what's going on, and therefore it makes it actually quite easy to know when they're not right. Because actually they're making the job harder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People are like, this is a creative endeavor. No one's making a movie by themselves, right? No one's shooting a TV show on their own, right? It's a crew of 50 to 100 people sometimes.
So when I do a show,
Yeah.
sorry to cut
No,
you
go
off.
on.
When I do a show is I have an office, to set up an office for this thing. I have my reference for Mid-Journey, everything, of all the scenes. I have like maybe 2,000 images that I will get 2 runners to spend 3 days to stick it all around the walls in my office. Then I bring all my HODs in and I'll talk them through the episode, vision, what I want with the storyboard. So I've created myself.
Yeah.
This is the episode. Let's go to the next room. This is the second episode.
Wow.
And then it gives them, this is the vision. How do we improve?
It's a storyboard, isn't it? Essentially?
No, it's the colour palettes, it's the line references, it's
feeling,
the art
everything.
department, it's location reference, it's just scribbles, you know, but it's all scene numbered. So they could go, okay, this is the colour palette from the DOP, this is the art department, this is the custom reference. It's sometimes overwhelming, but it's a starting point to communicate. And then you go, okay, cool. Because you've done this longer than me and better than me. How do we improve it? You know? So
That does relate back to what you were just asking, because basically it's the how part of it, isn't it? That works, and you can see, know it works, and that would be a really good starting point.
When there's someone that just can see in your head and
Yeah.
gets it and goes, yeah, well, this is the costume department, and they've found this amazing fabric and they've made the costume, and you go, oh my gosh, that's what I saw.
Exceeding
How
my
did you do that?
expectations.
But it's almost like you're collecting the infinity stones, you know? You're kind of going, oh yeah, I'm going to keep working with this person, or this person gets it, but then you may work with someone else that doesn't, but they're maybe already on the
that's
project,
okay.
or
Like, your
yeah,
director
true.
is
You've got to be
misunderstood
so
1,000
specific.
times. Yeah, and you just have to go back and reiterate what you like about it and show them the concept pieces. And you know, sometimes I work with other creatives that have just went, I want to do this. And I go, I don't like it, but I think it's crazy. Let's do it. You know, you just take a risk. You go, okay, not everything has to be mine. I go, put a bit of you in there. You know, cool. Like sometimes you have to kind of let go a little percentage to get the big percentage. You kind of go, okay, cool. That's your color palette. All right, bring it. We'll play. You know, and then it becomes more enjoyable if other people put themselves into the project as well as a lot of yours. That's what I hope.
That's why you get people that are more experienced than you as well.
Yeah, true.
shit, when we were doing music videos, we had nobody. We used to I shot this video in a community centre because I knew the community centre, and even she became a cameo, and the guy who was my DOP literally was, I saw him in a nightclub, I come, and we're all amateurs. Still are, in my opinion. I think the people that's working on me and all of us, we all love to do this. And it's that collaboration energy you just want to put on the table. Anybody questioned it, I'm sure you've been in the room as a director and you're pitching, certain people side eye each other.
Yeah.
In the meeting, those are the ones you keep an eye on. You go, right, I'm going to kick you out. Great. So you catch the vibe as who's backing you. When you're sharing ideas. And the minute you realise, all right, you know what? A couple of traitors over there. There's a few problematic people. You just go, okay, I know how to have. It's a lot of that, as well as sharing and empowering the other creatives. I always empower the people that want to back me, that will overwhelm anybody else outside, and suddenly we have a great product. And the people that have empowered me to deliver have made it stronger.
And those ones that are doubting, they actually end up joining the bandwagon somewhat sometimes, because it's like, I'll be enjoying them.
Or you fire them.
Yeah, 9 out of 10, I never hired him, so I come on board. There's nothing bad, you just kind of go, all right, that's a little checkmate I want to do. Once I deliver. But again, water for ducks back, gravitate to the people who want to do stuff with you. Let's get it done.
We're going to bring this chat to
a close. And I was just about to say,